I'm pretty shite at fighting games and don't really play them, but once in a while I'll have a go and be pleasantly surprised like I was with the Injustice games, and once again I can say that about Mortal Kombat 11. Like I said, not a big fighting game man, so thank God the tutorials are amazing. Not only is there ones for general mechanics of the game from basics to high level frame data stuff, there is also tutorials for each of the 20 characters in the game. Annoyingly, one of the tutorials appeared to be broken for me. The demo of the move was wrong and I matched the timing to perfection and it still didn't work. I've seen online some of the character tutorials have problems like this as well, but hopefully that gets patched out quickly. The general fighting's great, it's fast, and when you smack someone in the chops you can really feel it with crunchy sound effects. You could literally take a university course on the fighting system, it's that deep. I did find the timings for some of the combos to be far too quick, but might be just me being a spacker. Usually I play fighting games, get my ass handed to me and get pissed off, but Mortal Kombat has taught me the mechanics so well that when I do get destroyed, which is pretty often, I know what I could have done to avoid certain attacks or combos. It makes me want to put the time in and get better, unlike most fighters. The story mode has clearly had a lot of effort put into it, and it made me wish NetherRealm would have a go at making an action game in the style of Devil May Cry or something, because they really know how to do cool looking shit. Some of the cutscene choreography is up there with blockbuster films. I did prefer the plot when it was taking the piss out of itself a bit. Seeing Johnny Cage interact with his past self and realise what a twat he was is the kind of self-awareness I like. And the beginning of the game, Sonya and her daughter have what is basically a friendly spar. But I pissed myself laughing when Sonya grabbed Cassie in the fight, smashed her head in and then put her face right against a turret. I just wish there was more of that because the rest of it is a bit serious. It's a good plot with the time travel god and that, and really well acted, but you do really need to have played the other games to get the full extent of what was going on, and I hadn't. Besides story mode though, you've got tons of content both online and offline. There's rotating towers which provide a hefty challenge, some of the time far too much. You might have an objective that takes the right piss, like defeat 3 enemies in one life whilst your health slowly drains and the other dicks can launch missiles at you. I can definitely see some broken controllers come out of them, which is a shame because some of the mutators actually offer some decent challenges, like boss battles where you and other players tag each other in and out to take it down. I also really like the AI fights, and you can use them for towers as well. It's like a hyper-violent Pokemon game. You equip your characters with different gear and abilities and use a simple interface to program how you want their AI to fight. Do you want them to use more projectiles and put distance between them and their opponent, or do you want them to be hyper aggressive, that kind of thing. Sometimes it can feel as if the result has been determined before the fight even begins, but otherwise it provides a good alternate way to play for spackers like me, and I can record them fighting and claim it's me playing, so I look good, and I bet all the game journos did it, so I'm allowed to too. The few online matches I played ran super smooth, no input delay or any of that shite, and I like how it tells you what ping and connection type your opponent has, so if you see some scrub with shit internet using Wi-Fi, you can bail out. From playing all these modes you get currency to spend in the crypt, which is a cool little adventure game in itself with lots of references to the older games, but most of the treasure chests drop shite, like artwork. It's a shame it's totally random what you get in the chests, because having it mapped out would let people unlock stuff that they actually want for their characters. It's a right grind to get currency though, and that's where you would think microtransactions come into play, but they don't. There isn't any for stuff in the crypt. The only microtransaction is time crystals, which are used to buy stuff from a store that rotates every so often, so you can't really call the crypt predatory, it's just a grind. Also, the politics stuff people are kicking off about is minor as. Shao Kahn sometimes says make our world great again when entering a fight, which I thought was pretty funny, and Jax ends slavery at the end of his tower, which is fine. I mean, we can all agree slavery was a bit of a piss off, so why is it so bad he ends it? The woke line is a bit cringy, but just, you know, chill out. It looks the bollocks, the fatalities make you really go, ooh. The animations look really good as well, which is pretty important when you need to read them. The backgrounds on the stages have some nice details in them, even though you don't really pay attention to them. Overall, MK11 is a great game packed with loads of stuff to do, and I've become quite addicted to it and want to play more of it, which says a lot about it, unlike most of the pash that comes out.
Pick up the ball and take a plunge. gonna start.